I'm going to let everybody in on a little secret, some private information, if you will. Pretty much every debate I've been in this year has me ending up with some sort of thick packet of ballots from all the judges. And in this packet, on the very first ballot, the ballot that some consider the most important, there's always a note written in distinctly slanty cursive writing that can only belong to Alex N., Dumbledore, or Mr. Redican. That little note often says, in a snarky little tone, something like, "It would have been nice to hear a definition." As Mr. Redican knows, I hate defining terms in a debate because I feel like in not doing so, more gray area exists that I can hide in rather than actually think things out. Well, for the last debate of the year, the Lincoln-Douglas debate, no less, I'm going to define them all. Another debate thing that I hate doing is reading the resolution, because I think that anybody with half a brain, a pair of eyes, or a judge's ballot can see that it's written, like, everywhere. Regardless, allow me to don my Ben Rosenwasser debate voice and announce, resolved that merit pay is an effective means to improve the public education system. Now let's define. Resolved, explained or decided. That. Merit pay, sometimes called performance pay. Merit pay is a system upon which workers, in this case teachers, are paid in relation to the quality of work that they do. Car salesmen, production line workers, waiters and waitresses, lawyers, businessmen, and many others are paid according to this type of system. It takes some form of measurable or quantifiable criteria and pays people more or less depending on how well they do in relation to said criteria. For example, the more cars you sell, the more money you make per year. The more quickly you provide service at a restaurant, the more you will make as a tip. While merit pay for teachers may not be as easy as tip or commission, the basis of the system is nevertheless performance. Moving on with the definitions. Is the present form of the verb to be, and in this case a linking verb that's about to tell us something about merit pay. And the indefinite article meaning a, as in not the best, not the most, not the hugest or the smartest, simply a. Effective, producing or capable of producing a desired effect, adequate to accomplish a purpose. We'll talk about this one later. Means, to intend for a particular purpose, as in method or way. To improve, simply to make better or to bring into a more desirable or excellent condition. We'll talk about this one later too. Resolve that merit pay is an effective means to improve the American public education system. The public education system. The schooling mandated by the government, paid for by the taxpayers and regulated by the public via school boards. Excluded from this classification are private schools and charter schools. Resolve that merit pay is an effective means to, improve the American public education system. So there are all the definitions. Now that we're on the same page, we need to talk about the most important terms of this debate. I mean, of course, the terms I said we would get back to. While I think that very little debate will occur on behalf of the word "and," there are a good number of definitions for effective, especially in relation to the idea of improving school systems. When considering grand-scale education reform, you have to remember what about the education system is important. For some, it means pumping out high test scores. For others, it means having the most information in the shortest time period. In this debate specifically, we will have to consider above all else whether merit pay improves the quality of education that occurs. The foremost value in all schools should be education. It's quality of education, as in how best to improve that quality of the education that's going on. We're talking about how to raise the bar today. Underneath the quality of education falls everything else related to the issue. Some people fight about how fair it is. Some people fight about how effective it is, and others fight about everything in between. But the foremost issue today is how to raise the quality of education in the American public school system. This is not a debate on how effective merit pay is. I will refrain from using case studies because, in the end, the politics of tenure, teachers' unions, and social politics get in the way of what needs to be discussed. By avoiding all the nitpicky details, I'm focusing on a pure strain of merit pay as a value. We are discussing its potential as a viable way to raise the quality of American education. Representing the affirmative, I say, why the hell not? Why can't teachers be held accountable for their effectiveness as educators? If other fields can financially hold their workers accountable based on personal efficacy, so too can education. Waiters and lawyers, businessmen and car salesmen, they all have to handle grumpy people, eager people, one person, two people, red people, blue people. These jobs handle diverse people much like teachers handle diverse students. If merit pay works in these industries, it can work in education. By voting affirmative today, you're voting to raise the quality of the education system for teachers, students, and the world alike. Vote to merit pay it forward. Vote affirmative.